Thank you all for showing up today. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday morning. Just a reminder that this is a CNCF meeting, so we must abide by the CNCF Code of Conduct. Code of Conduct will be posted in the chat in just a second. And then I'm going to pull up the HackMD, which I'll be honest, I've been kind of slacking on to see if there's any issues. But I know, Kim, we might have some PR comments that we have to go over too. So if there's nothing in the HackMD, we can do that. This today, May 2nd. Yep. Okay. If you have any things you want to bring up, feel free to put them in the HackMD too. But hello, everybody. Does anyone have anything they'd like to bring up today?
Nothing for me today.
Okay. How are things in operator land? Give me a second.
I haven't had much time to look into things since our last meeting. I don't know if Troy has any other details.
No, I was going to try to get some of the dependency things updated so we can stay within compliance, because I know that's huge. I didn't know, I wasn't at the last meeting, unfortunately, and I know that we're going to try to do some implementation around the delete stuff. I was trying to see, I don't know if there's a board created, and forgive me for being unprepared today. I'm trying to see what is more priority around the scope that we need. So like, for instance, what are we trying to, I saw an issue, somebody said they can't even run the quick start. So maybe fixing those little quirks or something like that. But I think they were trying to inject credentials into the API of Kubernetes itself. But again, that's an issue I have to like really read. I read it from my phone, but I want to see what's more so priority, because we need to, if we're going to do a release eventually, or like what's the cadence of what we're trying to accomplish, because that Kubernetes delete situation that we were talking about is a heavier lift. And I think that has to be done over multiple iterations before we can call that a release. To say that, yeah, we'll have this ready by 1.1, that would be kind of an ambitious goal to do. So I was trying to just basically see what's needed for the dependencies, any cleanup work we need to do to get the operator functional for people to at least use it in a sense where they're not hitting these roadblocks, and then maybe even try to draft up a milestone petition to where we can be with the delete situation. Okay. So yeah, I know you had a board, and I don't have the link to it.
Board. Let me go grab it.
But maybe I can add some stuff to it, or even with the are we calling it PEPs because it's Porter enhancement? Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. So even with that, I can maybe even draft the PEP to make sure that I can get some buy-in and plan that part of the iteration.
Okay.
Just been super busy, unfortunately. I apologize.
Yeah, I actually have a little extra time coming up here, and I'm setting up a new system right now. So I'm in a good position to kind of go through a clean, getting started workflow on it and kind of catch things along the way there. So I'll take it to do that.
Okay. So Brian, you can look at the quick start thing, and then Troy, you'll handle like updating dependencies on the operator. And we have until June. I'm just hoping that the operator can get some love between now and June, when we'll release more. So Brian to get the quick start issue. And let's see if we can grab that quick start issue that you were talking about, Troy, really quick, so I can just link it. I don't see it, but if you find it, just let me know. Or if you could go pull it up and then link it.
Yeah, I'm going to try to pull it up and link it in the chat if I see it.
Okay, cool. That's perfect. All right, neat. Yeah, I would like a little bit more traction on the operator. I know that it's rough right now, but I appreciate anything that, we can kind of give it, especially if it's just updating dependencies. That would be huge. And hopefully we can kind of start to loop in more people to try and, I don't know, if they want to work on the operator, and if so, what that looks like. Cool.
Yeah, I've got a former coworker who's interested in helping out a little bit too. So I'm working on with him a little bit to see where he can start to contribute.
Right. Cool. Okay. Anyone else have anything? Kim, Kurt?
I just wanted to confirm, we made some changes to the arm mix-in. I mentioned, should we just,
Oh shit.
and it might be one of our first PRs. Should we submit a PR on that, or what should we do for the first one? Like,
Yes, please submit a PR, and then if I don't see it, ping me directly. Cause like like the operator and stuff, my notifications, I just have them set up wrong. Feel free to ping me or the maintainers directly, like Kim or Brian or Steven. Make sure we get that reviewed. I do want to like get that PR merged. Do you have it, or you haven't made the PR yet?
I've not made it yet. I didn't submit it yet, so I just was double checking. So just we've made a fork. We'll just submit the PR and take it from there.
Yeah, no, we would love that. Yeah. And then if it is on a mixin or stuff like that, just share it, maybe even in the Porter general chat, just so we all can get eyes on it. And that way I know it's top of mind. I'll add a label onto it for me to review it and get it taken care of.
Okay, do that.
It's super exciting. Thank you so much for that. We
Sure.
need to probably a week before V110, maintainers and all around, like if anyone wants to help kind of update the dependencies on our mixins, that definitely needs to kind of get taken care of. It's just like, let's try to like judge everything up for 110. Oh, I wish I could get notifications for discussions. Good job keeping an eye on that. Wait,
I
you
don't
said
know
you've
how.
done.
I don't know how
was
that
like-
happened. It just came into my email, and it was like late at night. I checked it. I was like, oh, some new GitHub notifications.
I'm gonna
So-
look and see what's up with my notifications. That's like a big to do
Krista, like,
after this call. Oh yeah.
for that for the documentation part, like where you're talking about like mixing dependencies, correct?
Mhm.
Can you tell a little bit more about it? Like what all we need to do over there? Like, do we need to just go through the README and then do all the steps and then see if we are able to do it, or?
Yeah, there's two pronged here. So for like the ARM mix-in here, you can see under pull requests, like the bot has created a lot of like update the dependencies on the package PRs. And so I just need someone to go like pull down the ARM mix-in, run go git -u, make sure it builds, make sure like it can run in a bundle, like it's fine, and then push that up and then get that merged. So like just a lot of them, because like they're not part of the core porter, they're kind of off there on the off branch, they don't get as much love. Updating documentation on that too. Like if you're coming across the documentation, you're like, oh, this is rough, or like I just don't know how to work it. That's totally cool. The other issue talking about was the operator. So the porter operator, Quickstart is broken, and you can try if you'd like. Brian's also going to do that, so you guys can pair up if you'd like to go through the operator Quickstart. I'll get the doc for you right now.
Sure. Yeah, if you can share that in the chat, that'd be great.
Yep. Boop. This thing isn't working. So updating that, going through that would be really, really helpful.
Sure, yeah. I tried like the quick start for the contributor guide, and it worked like seemed very well for me. Yeah. I think the only thing, there is one part over there which talks about like running the test integration. So that part, I think it worked, but I had few errors or warnings, but I'll go double check that and I'll let you know. It could be it was my Ubuntu version or something I was doing wrong before I say anything on that. But I'll start on this quick start for operator. Sounds good.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah. The operator definitely needs some love. So anyone who's looking to get kind of their Kubernetes chops, then that's kind of where, I'd suggest you going. So yep.
Sure.
Thank you so
I'll
much.
start with a quick start on that one, and then I'll get back to you and Brian, if I see any wherever I stop, I'm not able to move forward. Yeah.
Correct. Cool.
Sounds good.
Kurt, anything else from your side?
Not right now. I mean, we have some other things that we might also submit PRs for, but I'll just mention that. I'll bring them up later or submit them also. Yeah.
That's exciting.
Mostly, I mean, for
it.
those, it's mostly around some mix-ins, but down the road we'll look at some other parts too. But
Yeah, I didn't know if y'all saw this, but Kim has a PR that we're currently in review for signing bundles.
Oh,
So
nice.
Nice.
we've step one, and then I am rejudging with Jeremy Record, kind of helping with like the attaching it to the OCI artifact stuff, but the SPOM stuff that we're trying to work on. So hopefully signing bundles and SBOMs coming soon to a theater near you.
Great.
Cool. All right, Kim, you got anything?
Not really. I think the only thing, but that's regarding the comments on the pull request and documentation. Because, well, as I wrote, I do agree with the documentation, it should be there, but it's probably also the balance between when should documentation be there? Because if it's merged right now, it will pop up at the website right away, right? And that's
Well, that's a
might
good
not
point.
be what we want.
That's a good point. I didn't think about that. Crap. Okay. My only concern is like I don't want us to like release and forget. So even
No,
if you make like an issue or like you make the docs and we just shove it in draft for a while, I'm totally fine with that.
Yeah, I agree. It should be there. It's important. It's just also quite confusing if it says that things work and it doesn't.
It's not there. Yeah, I agree. I didn't even think about that. Cool. Yeah, we should start like I should start to figure out like how we're going to run things for V110, kind of like handling docs and announcements. But yeah, that's a good call out. Cool. I think the rest of the signing PR was fine. My main concern was just like, let's make sure if we can do checks that the tools are installed locally before we
Yes.
just like,
Yeah, I think
that's it.
I pushed something yesterday, I think, where I tried to do that. Also, I discovered a few other small things that weren't working exactly like they should, but it should be updated now with some checks for if the tools are installed. I think the message should be improved. I forgot that before I pushed it, but but right now at least we'll say you have to install something. It doesn't tell you anything else than that.
Okay. Cool. I have a weird PR, but it's not that weird. And it's this one, just letting everybody know about it. So basically, let me give the background. When you were generating a credential set or a parameter set, the issue was that they wanted the description of those like parameters or credentials to be shown in like the like when it has like the pop-up, you run it and then it says like what's the name and like where is it, like it has that like check thing that you do. Anyways, so they wanted the description to be shown. I did find out that within Porter this was already thought of, and we have this like secret source, and the secret source has the concept of like a hint and a strategy, and a hint is what a description would be. It would be like this is called like X name in Vault, like something that just tells the person like where it is. And then the strategy would be like this is a file or it's an environment variable. So when you are creating that credential set and there's all those options, it kind of gives you like a little bit more of it adds like a path, right? It like bumpers. So the problem is that it's kind of hard right now to show the secret sources. So we're doing something ugly, which is just adding description to everything, and then outputting it through the command line during like generate time. Long term, I would love to use hint strategy, but I just don't know. It's like a time versus effort thing. But yeah, that is where my PR, and then we had a linter PR. We have a bunch of website 404s still too. And so if anyone has like any cycles to deal with that and anytime coming up, I would love to get the website kind of like in a spot. And this isn't like super difficult, but it is, I'm gonna show where it's at. It is like going through like this list here and just like finding the links and updating the targets. Cool. We could also talk about KubeCon if anyone is going and like our strategy there. I know I'm going. Is anyone else going?
TBD for me, but I'm looking at submitting that Porter Argo demo talk again.
That would be cool.
Does anybody know when the CFP closes? Because I haven't submitted anything yet.
June 4th. I know
June 4th,
because I have
okay.
like 3 reminders for me. So don't forget.
All right, so maybe TBD is me for well, because I'm trying to go if I can get the speaker selected.
Yeah. Cool. Cool. I didn't have an agenda today, and there was no other agenda. We can, if no one has any PRs or stuff they want to bring up, we can end early, but also happy to just chill and talk about things if anyone has anything.
I might have a small topic. So there's been a couple of new lints added over time. And I think that's great. I added, well, 2 of them at least. So, of course, but I think we need to have a strategy around it to some extent, because you can consider lints breaking changes, depending on if it's a warning or an error, of course. But it also makes it really, really hard to add new lints unless we have a strategy for how to do that, because yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, I'm gonna guess this came from my linter, like trying to fix the linter PR that I have that's like huge.
No, I'm talking about the Porter lints. Sorry, the Porter lints.
Oh,
Yeah, the Porter lints.
okay.
So because I do remember, I cannot remember which one it was. I can find it again. There was one, I added a lint where it became an error to do something that would fail at runtime. Basically, to catch it earlier. And as you said, it is a breaking change. But it also makes it really hard to, let's say, improve the lints along the way unless we kind of have a strategy on how to introduce new lints, because error lints will be breaking, warning not. But there might be, I don't know, some things that should be errors that to avoid being breaking is warning. What do I know? It's kind of like this strategy on how to improve that process. It makes it a little hard to without knowing anything to add new lints, right, to improve the things.
Right. So, I mean, are you suggesting a brief factor of Porter lint or more documentation or both?
I don't know. I think there's pros and cons for both, right? It's just I think what I'm leaning towards is, let's say, if it would be a runtime error that the lint blocks you from doing, it could be considered not really be a breaking change because you would get an error later. But if it's just let's say weird behavior, then it could be a warning instead, and then it's not a breaking change. But then again, will it ever be an error? It's like that process is not, I haven't thought much more than that, but it's just this balance between breaking and actually improving, so to say.
Well, I mean, I'd fight back that, like, do you expect the errors at runtime? I mean, like, I expect more errors at build time than runtime.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, like, I want us to be louder then.
Yeah.
So, like, I'd welcome more, like, quote unquote breaking changes at build time than at runtime, right?
Yeah, I agree. And I think that it's just that there, let's say, we could also document that, right? It's
Right.
as part of the, let's say, contributor guide or someplace near that in order to help guide that, because there are things like, I know I added a lint and that will be a breaking change, but it's just weird behavior where if you have two dependencies with the same name, things are not happening. It's not really determined. Well, it will be the first one, if I remember. I cannot remember, but it's kind of like nothing complains, and I added a lint for that. But you can say, it was just weird behavior. It didn't introduce any runtime errors or anything. It's just weird behavior. Basically, it just chose the first one because deep inside the CNCF runtime or something like that. I cannot remember the details right now, but it was just weird behavior that could mean that you expect something else. Now I added it as an error. That's fine, but it could be a warning instead, basically saying for whatever reason you, I don't know, depended on it. It's a weird thing to depend on, but people could have done it, right?
Yeah. Okay. No, I see what you're saying. So when you added the lint, is it warning or just didn't do anything to that though? It just like didn't say anything when you.
Yeah, it didn't say anything at all.
Oh, it just didn't do anything. Okay.
It just did whatever it was doing.
Yeah. Okay.
So there were nothing saying anything about this. It was just a little, let's say, I did it by mistake, which is why I discovered that, oh, why something weird happened here, not expected. But it didn't complain at all. So that could have been a warning and be a not breaking change, but it's also the balance.
Yeah. Okay. I can see how Porter would not think through that and only apply the first one too. That is very much in its nature. So I agree. I would expect for it to like, I don't know. I want it to be at the point where like you do not have to run it to see like, oh, it's actually broken. That's the end goal, right?
Exactly. But it also means that introducing new lints, which is probably a good idea to do more than have been in the past. There's not many lints. But if I would say everything, there could be a lot of things that could be considered breaking changes just because it's a lint that will fail at build time instead of at runtime. Or just be weird behavior, right? When should what be chosen? An error versus warning. It's something to discuss, right? I'm just thinking about it because of these pull requests where it actually introduced errors, and we had a little talk about breaking or not breaking. Not much, but a little. And I would like to see more lints at least, when it makes sense. But I'll also avoid this. Now I say discussion. Now it sounds like it's a big problem. It wasn't, right? But this, it's unclear when things should be an error or warning, and that makes it hard for people to contribute because it's fairly easy to add a lint compared to a lot of other things.
No, and that's kind of what I'm feeling like the core of your issue is. It was like, and we've talked about this too, about like outputs and stuff and the whole standard out thing. That whole standard out standard error issue. I think we need to look at our error handling, look at what we're doing, because I think we also have two divergent strategies for error handling right now. We're not like following like OTel and tracing throughout the whole library. It's kind of dispersed where we've added it. So I would like at least for us to like kind of look at this, and maybe it's a PEP, but maybe it's not, and go like, what is our error handling strategy? When do we error? When do we warn? And then like, here's how you add an error and like, set standards around that. I think that's what it's coming down to is like, we're just not, and if you look, by the way, at the cluster mess of my lint PR, I found that we're like just throwing away a bunch of errors and like even in tests. And that's the problem is like, we're even getting errors and we're just not caring.
Yeah, no, I haven't looked. I skimmed through it. I haven't looked at it in detail, but yes, there was a lot of things I saw that.
So I think that would be even a great, like, just like a PEP, a PR, or even something added to like our contributing guide. Like, it doesn't have to be super formal of like, this is what, as we think as a team, like, this is an error, this is a warn, this is when you should trace and when we add those things.
Yeah,
And start pushing towards that. So cool.
Yep.
I'm gonna write that down. This should. Okay. I was going to set up, this is like probably the last item I have, and then y'all can have the floor if anyone else has stuff, but I was going to add like a separate porter call for just the operator. I think what's happening is like we talk about porter and porter core maintainers, like, you know, we focus on it a lot for the majority of the porter meetings, but the operator itself doesn't have any time, and therefore it gets like a lot less focus. So I was thinking about having like a 30-minute, 45-minute call. Maybe it's like monthly. You know, we started out really small, and maybe it's before or after this meeting. And, you know, it's just operator talk. And it kind of drives more focus towards that. Does anyone have feelings on that? Troy, since you're operator lead?
I actually think that's a great idea. If it works with people's schedule, I would love to, you know, accommodate the time and try to get some issues, and maybe even, I don't want to waste people's time, but of course, we're, you know, speaking about the implementation around delete stuff. So I think it would be beneficial for us to even craft some ideas what we know works, what we know doesn't work, what we want to see the output of what we're trying to accomplish. So yeah, I think that's, I would love to get involved with that as far as having that be something that people are interested in. Now, I don't want it to be just me talking for an hour and everybody listen to what I have to say about it. So like, if there's necessary, if there's no need for, I guess I'll make it optional. Like, hey, we're going to be talking about this today. If it's something that you're interested in, please come, and then, you know, kind of do the same thing we're doing here, but on the basis of to scope it down to at least those bits. And so, for instance, the signing of the bundles, are like, there's a lot of stuff happening in porter proper land that are going to have to like kind of get ported over to, I use that word on purpose, to the operator. So I want us to watch the maturity grow from the space over here to be over there, and then allow that to, because if it's just all getting fixed over there, I don't think we're going to actually see the benefit of the operator itself without actually challenging those things that need to be fixed. So yeah, absolutely, I have no problem with that.
I did not even think about how signing could impact the operator, or like SBOMs. And like with SBOMs, we're attaching the SBOM to the artifact, which could have ramifications. So I didn't even think about that, which means I do not want this, which is the operator would be pinned to a like, what's it called? Less new, older, there we go, version of porter than we'd like. So cool. I will set up an operator call. It seems like for the operator team, like the Thursdays are a little bit rough, so maybe we'll do like Tuesdays, or once a month on Tuesdays, or operator days, and we can go from there. So cool, awesome. Anyone have anything else that they'd like to bring up? PRs that they have issues with? Anything? Nope.
Nope.
Cool. All right. Well, I'm happy to give y'all some of your time back. I appreciate it. Please bring up any issues in chat. We have a porter backlog, a project board here if you want to get involved. I'm going to post it in the chat really quick. And this backlog is just for going through all the issues that we have pinned for V110. So if you have any questions, comments, reach out to your local porter maintainers. We're happy to help. But other than that, have a good rest of your day. Thank you so much. And I'll see y'all in 2 weeks.
Thanks,
Bye.
everyone.
Thanks, Sue.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone.